Another thing that you're doing, you're like the
Yes.
voice of public transportation.
Public transportation in Vancouver and Toronto now as well.
Dude, you just don't stop. I mean,
don't
you're really
stop.
going for it.
I really like to have my finger in a lot of pots, and so, yeah.
Seth Rogen is an actor that everyone knows, but is one that is rarely talked about when discussing the greats working today. Throughout his years working with writing partner Evan Goldberg, the two have created original characters and premises for him to act out in. In an interview with Vulture, he explains his mindset, stating, "Evan and I talk about this a lot. We're trying to make movies we wish we could be seeing but are not." These original premises have launched his career, and I hope to explain the impact Seth's acting has in the movies he's in, by looking at a variety of his roles where his type fits perfectly. He loves to work in the movie industry and comments in an interview with Rolling Stone, saying, "The movie industry allows me to express myself and around people I like." Rogen took his skills to direct and star in 2013's This Is the End, where he shows how to translate love and endearment in a beautiful moment in the final act. Even though him and Jay Baruchel are getting sucked up in a vortex into heaven while avoiding a hell giant, you can still see how Rogen takes a scene like this as seriously as any other dramatic moment.
It's not gonna take me with you! We're going down!
Keep holding on and you'll get pulled up too!
It's not! No, I won't, man! I don't deserve to! Fuck! You gonna let go, Jay?
You'll die!
I know! But you won't!
No!
I don't deserve to go to heaven, but you do. You do, okay? We're both gonna die if I don't let go. I'm not gonna hold you back anymore.
As the opening clip showed, Seth has one feature about him that makes him distinct among others, and that is his voice. He acknowledges the wide admiration of his voice by saying to Global News, "I thought it was hilarious," as Seth takes over from Morgan Freeman from being the voice for Vancouver Transits. This says something about him as a person, as he's able to overthrow the great Morgan Freeman and his respectively iconic voice. Rogen has lent his voice to multiple animated films and excels exceptionally in Sausage Party, where he is again able to bring gravitas to absurd premises.
Don't do it, Korn.
Come on, Larry, you can do it!
Start. Don't you dare fucking do it, Korn. Don't you fucking do it.
Dear God,
no.
you're so divine in each and every way. To you
Dear gods, we pledge our love to you forevermore.
You gotta get out of there! No,
The movie really does showcase Rogen's skill with acting and his transition from comedy to drama in Danny Boyle's Steve Jobs. The guy holds his own against heavyweights Michael Fassbender and Kate Winslet, and comes off just as natural as ever. This scene specifically shows a face of concern, which he has used in hilarious scenarios, but applies just as well in an unforgettable confrontation in the film.
I'm sorry to be blunt, but that happens to be the truth. The Lisa was a failure. The Macintosh was a failure. I don't like talking like this, but I am tired of being Ringo when I know I was John.
Everybody loves Ringo.
And I'm tired of being patronized by you.
You think John became John by winning a raffle, Woz? You think he tricked somebody or hit George Harrison over the head? He was John because he was John.
He was John because he wrote Ticket to Ride. And I wrote The Apple II.
Everybody, look, I want to clear
Nobody
you out for
moves. You made a beautiful board, which, by the way, you're willing to give out for free, so don't tell me how you built Apple. If it weren't for me, you'd be the easiest day at Homestead High School.
These people live and die by your praise. So here's your chance. Acknowledge that something good happened that you weren't in the room for.
No.
Steve, do it. It's right. It's right.
Sorry, but no.
Let me put it another way. I don't think there's a man who's done more to advance the democratization that comes with personal computing than I have, but you've never had any respect for me. Now, why is that?
I'd at least consider the possibility that it's because you've never had any for me.
What the hell is going on here?
Nothing. Thank you for your time.
It's done. She's coming back.
You came a half inch from putting this company out of business. Now, who do I see about that? I'm letting you keep your job. You get a pass.
You know, when people used to ask me what the difference was between me and Steve Jobs, I would say Steve was the big picture guy, and I liked a solid workbench. When people ask me what the difference is now, I say Steve's an asshole.
Rogen told LA Times, "I think we try to make movies that in some way reflect what we're going through at a time." And you can really see this evolution in his characters he's played. From starting as the funny burnout character, he has taken his iconic voice and his concerned facial expressions and applied them to more serious roles such as Steve Jobs in 50/50. In 2019, Rogen will star in The Lion King, which should be one of the biggest hits of the year. This shows a bright future for him, and I hope he continues to get such large roles. I hope he continues to broaden his roles and act in another serious drama where he could maybe even get attention when award season comes around. And lastly, I hope he never runs out of ink, because him and Evan Goldberg have created some of the best comedies in the film history, and in my opinion, this is where Seth Rogen thrives the most.